Morning's practice is going to be quite a grounding practice, really beautiful. Should take us around 40 minutes, so you're welcome to stay for as long as you like. We'll do a short meditation at the end, but it won't be anything too physical or too strong, just really grounding, really calming, and something that is going to really benefit particularly the lower body and just waking up. So we'll take it as it comes. We're actually going to begin this morning on our bellies. So we'll come down to the mat and we will find a really comfortable position, just lying down. And I want you to allow your head to rest on the mat. Or you can place your hands in a bit of a triangle shape and take your forehead in between those. Or just let the forehead rest on the mat and allow your arms to be by your side. We'll begin our practice just taking some really grounding breaths, becoming acquainted with the space. Just breathing in and out through the nose. And allow the weight of the body to really sink into the ground. Let's take 5 more rounds of breath here. And with every inhale, we'll begin to wake up. And every exhale allows us to settle in. And then very gently, let's go ahead and interlace the hands behind the back, making one big fist. And on an inhale, we're going to peel the upper body off the chest, taking a gentle chest opener here. And exhale, lower the forehead back down, release the hands, and bring the hands underneath the shoulders. A full round of breath. And then on our next inhale, we're going to find a baby cobra, pressing through the fingertips. Engage the lower back, the glutes, peel the upper body off the chest, and exhale, lower back down. We're going to find 5 baby cobras here. On an inhale, lift, come off the mat, lift your gaze, and exhale, lower back down. Inhale. Beginning to feel into the back of the body. Finding some movement in the spine, really pressing the pelvis and the hip bones into the mat. Feeling the tops of the feet connected. Let's take one more. Inhale, lift, And exhale, lower it back down. Let's reach around with the hands, interlacing them once again. And this time on your inhale, we're going to lift the upper body and the feet. So really engaging the lower back and the glutes. Let's inhale. Press through the hips. Lift. Exhale. Lower down. Let's take 2 more just like that. Inhale. Begin to engage the muscles. Feeling active. And release. And inhale 1 more. Find a bit more range, a bit more lift, and then we'll lower down. Bringing the hands back under the shoulders. Let's go ahead and just find some shoulder rolls as we inhale and press our way up, almost to a baby cobra, and then we rotate the shoulders back down. So allowing yourself to just feel into the upper body. You can make this as sassy or as small as you like. All right, we're in the comfort of our own home. I want you to just really feel into whatever you need. Just rolling those shoulders back. Let's take a couple more. Good, and then inhale. 1 more, and exhale. Soften back down. Bringing the elbows close to the body. Let's find Sphinx. Coming onto the forearms. Good, and lifting the upper body. Just finding a really passive and gentle back bend to begin with. If you'd like to make this a little more intense, you can walk the elbows closer to the body. Always just settle in here. Let's take 3 rounds of breath. Just feel the chest open up, release tension from the jaw. And roll the shoulders back down onto the upper body. Really feeling relaxed in this pose. Beautiful. And then grounding through the right forearm, you might bring it closer to the inside. Coming to rest and ground on that arm. We're going to inhale and reach back with the left arm. So taking a gentle twist, opening up to the left. And gazing either to the left side of the room or back to that left hand. Really press the pelvis down. Keep that left hip bone connected to the mat. And gaze forward. And go ahead and take the left forearm to the ground. Good. Grounding through the other side now. Inhale. Sweep the right arm back. And reach the right hand to the back of the room as you open the body to the right. Good. And then coming back to center. Coming through your Sphinx. Let's gently lower that forehead back down onto the ground. Take a full cycle of breath here. And then bending into the right knee. Let's go ahead and reach around to grab onto the top of the right foot. Maybe with the right hand, maybe with both. We'll just take a really gentle quad stretch here. Feeling into the thigh, the top of the leg. And then gently release that right foot. Allow it to come back to the ground as we bend the left knee. And reach around to hook onto the top of that left foot. Again, maybe with one hand, maybe with both. Just allowing the upper body to be nice and heavy. And just when you think that you have really relaxed, take a big exhale and soften a little more. Gently release the top of the left foot. Let's go ahead and take the hands under the shoulders and then press yourself back, coming into a wide-legged child's pose. Big toes come together, knees go wide. If this isn't suitable for you today, feel free to stay up on the fingertips. We want to be warming up the hips just in a really passive way. All right, but if you're coming into this child's pose, bring the forehead back down to the ground, reach the arms forward. And just feel the hips begin to slowly soften, begin to wake up. And take 3 full rounds of breath here. And then gently walk the hands over to the right. Maybe bringing the left hand on top of the right for a left side body stretch. And then gently taking the hands over to the left. Maybe bringing the right hand on top this time. And feeling down the side of the ribs, the shoulders, the lower back. All on that right side. And then let's come back through center. And gently press your way up. Draw the knees back under the hips. And keeping the tailbone nice and high, let's walk the hands forward, coming into a puppy pose. So begin to walk the hands forward as the upper body melts towards the ground. Once again, bringing the forehead down to the mat. Or perhaps coming onto the chest, the chin rests gently on the ground. Again, let's find 3 full breaths here. Beautiful chest opener. Nice way to combat all that sitting and hunching over our computers and telephones. And on your next inhale, let's gently walk the hands back towards the body. Come to sit on the heels or find a comfortable cross-legged position. Let's settle in here, find a nice tall spine. And then taking the right hand behind you, let's inhale with the left and find a gentle twist as we cross that left hand over to the right and gaze back over the right shoulder. Inhale, sweep the left hand up overhead and then take those fingertips beside you. Reach the right hand up and then take your twist over to the other side. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and sweep the hands forward, coming through a tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes and then begin to sit back ever so gently so that we begin to open up the tops of the feet. Really feeling a stretch through those toes, through the arch. And then keeping the toes tucked, let's go ahead and press our ways back into downward facing dog. So rolling the body up and back. Let's go ahead and just find some organic movement here for a few moments. I invite you to just really take whatever feels good here. Spend a few moments just listening to the body, allowing some blood to go to the head, allowing the back of the legs to open up. Keeping in mind that it is early and things might feel very different to how they feel in the afternoon or midday. And then let's find stillness for 3 rounds of breath. Keep pressing that upper body towards the top of the thighs. And on an inhale, let's sweep the right leg up and behind you. Bend the knee, open the hip. Keep the hips squared towards the top of the mat. And just feel the body begin to open up to the right. Maybe take some ankle circles here. And then gazing to the top of the mat, let's step that knee through and plant the right foot at the top of the mat between the hands. Lower the back knee down, untuck the toes, and find your low lunge. So really bending into the right knee, taking some padding for that back knee if you need. Begin to press into the right knee, really feeling a nice pull through that left hip flexor. And we're going to find some movement here. Begin to shift the weight back as you straighten the front leg, finding half splits. Flex that right foot and just gently begin to fold over top of the right leg. We're going to move between the low lunge and the half splits. So really getting into the hips and the hamstrings, staying nice and low. Let's go ahead and bend into the right knee once again. Coming up. And once again, I just invite you to move at your own pace here. We'll take around 5 rounds of moving between the two. You're welcome to hang out here, hang out in one of the poses for a bit longer, or find more movement. And then bending into that right knee, come back through your low lunge. Now perhaps you stay here with that back knee down, or if you would like, you can untuck that back knee, tuck those toes, and then inhale, finding a high lunge just for a moment. Good. Let's go ahead and take that left hand back down to the mat, and then keep the right hand lifted as you find a revolved low lunge. Opening up to the right side. Opening the chest up. Good. And then gaze down at your mat. Plant the right hand down. Let's step back to a high plank. An option to lower through chaturanga or just press back for downward facing dog. Either way, we'll meet there. All right. So coming through up dog or cobra. Just moving with the breath. And press back for downward facing dog. I'll take that mini sequence over to the other side. On an inhale, float the left leg up and behind you. stack the hips, bend the knee. And then find those little ankle circles again if you like. Really reaching that left knee up and away from you, finding length. I feel this particularly in my lower abdominals. It's like a really nice ab stretch. And then let's step that left foot forward between the hands. Lower the right knee down. Untuck the toes. And inhale. Come back into your low lunge on the other side. And just be witness to how the hips are feeling after a little bit of movement, after we've worked on one side. Beautiful. And moving back into our half splits, let's straighten that left leg, flex the left foot, and take a gentle fold. I always need to move my left heel a bit further forward. All right, take whatever feels good. You don't have to be firmly planted. We're not trees. You're welcome to move at any time. And then we'll bend into that left knee once again. So taking another 5 rounds here as we move between that half splits low lunge combo. Beautiful. Let's take just one more. Good. And then go ahead and plant the hands, frame that left foot, and choosing to stay here or tucking the back toes and lifting that back knee. Let's inhale, sweep the hands overhead for a high lunge just for a moment. And then let's take that right hand down to the ground, reach up with the left. Revolved side lunge. Good, really opening up to the left. And then go ahead and gaze forward. Frame that front foot. Step back to your plank. Option to come through chaturanga, taking your vinyasa, or meeting back in downward facing dog. Just really moving with the breath here. Good. And then as we meet back in downward facing dog, let's take one full round of breath. And we're going to gently walk the hands to the back of the mat, finding a forward fold here. So bending the knees as much as you need. Leading with the chest, hinging from the hips. Let's go ahead and just release the head. Grab onto opposite elbows. And gently sway from side to side. You can shake the head yes. Then no. To just release any extra tension being held in the neck and in the shoulders. You can release the elbows. And go ahead and bend the knees. And then gently we're going to ragdoll our way to standing. So really taking it slow and moving through each part of the body. Head comes last, and we roll the shoulders back and down. Beautiful. Let the hands rest by your side just for a moment. And then take the left foot and turn it just ever so slightly on a 45-degree angle. All right, we're going to take a big step forward with the right foot, coming into our warrior one. So lift the hands up overhead. Feel grounded through that back foot. Good. Reach up with the fingertips. Keep the chest nice and high. And then on your exhale, we're going to turn to the left, finding our warrior two. So the back foot really comes to that 90-degree angle now. Reaching forward with the right fingertips. On an inhale, lift the hands, straighten the front leg. And exhale, come back to warrior two. We'll find 5 more breaths like that. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten. Exhale to bend. Beautiful. Finding some movement here. And let's take one more. Inhale and exhale. Good. Inhale, straighten that right leg just once more. And then tilting from the hips, we're going to find our Trikonasana, bringing the right hand down to the right shin and reaching that left hand up. Beautiful for the lower back. This feels so good. And then gazing down at the mat, let's go ahead and windmill the hands as you bend into the right knee. Step back to your high plank. Option to take a vinyasa, or we'll meet in downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's walk those hands back towards the back of the mat, towards the feet. Bend the knees. And then inhale. Come all the way to standing. Take the hands overhead. Find a small back bend. And exhale, release the hands. Let's take that right foot on that 45-degree angle. And then take a big step forward with the left foot this time. On an inhale, reach the hands overhead, warrior one. Keep those hips nice and squared with the mat. Good, and then exhale, turn the back foot, bend the left knee, find your warrior two. Beautiful. Let me turn around so you can see me. On an inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the hands up overhead, and exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten, exhale, bend. Good, 3 more. Connecting the movement with the breath. Good, inhale, lift, straighten the left leg, and then tilting from the hips, let's take that left hand down towards the ground, reach the right hand up, find your triangle pose. Really breathing into the side body, into the inner thighs. Good, gaze down at your mat, let's windmill the hands down. Step back to your high plank, taking a vinyasa or meeting in downward facing dog. And press back. Good. Awesome. On an inhale, we're going to float that right leg up and behind us once again. And this time, exhale, draw the knee in close to the right wrist. Go ahead and plant that leg down as we find Pigeon Pose. So coming upright here as we begin to square that right shin to the top of the mat. No worries if it doesn't quite go parallel. All right. Just finding quite a deep hip opener here. So come nice and upright, really feel your foundation. Resting the hands gently on the knees or foot, or just taking them off completely. Let's go ahead and open that chest up, lift the gaze. And then gently walking the hands forward. Coming to fold over top of that right leg. Taking this as deep as you'd like to go. We'll hold here for 8 rounds of breath. Really softening, allowing it to be really passive. And just notice any thoughts and sensations that do arise in this pose. It's quite intense and the mind can start to say all sorts of things. Just try and notice what's going on in the body. We don't attach good or bad to it. It just is what it is. Every day is different. And come back to the breath. Often these are the hardest poses just because it feels like we're not doing anything and we can get really used to needing to do. Sometimes it's hard just to be. We focus on the present moment. And we'll gently press our way back upright. Bring the hands in nice and close, and then choosing to stay here on the fingertips. Or perhaps bending the left knee and reaching around to hook onto the left foot. Taking a nice and gentle quad stretch. No worries if this isn't available today. Good, and then maybe bringing that foot to the crease of the elbow or the forearm. Just staying open, no matter where you are, just really not trying, not forcing anything. And then gently releasing that foot or coming back through your pigeon. Let's go ahead and untuck that right leg, coming through your high plank or taking child's pose for a moment. Option 2, take your vinyasa or meet back in downward facing dog. We're going to take that stretch over to the other side. When you're ready, we'll float the left leg up and back and then draw that knee in nice and close over to the left wrist this time. Lower the knee down. Begin to square up that shin. Once again, just finding anything that feels good. Anywhere that foot wants to be is totally okay. As long as you're not feeling sharp pain or something that just feels off, then it's all good. And we'll come nice and lightly onto those hands once again, just really pressing through, feeling balanced, feeling grounded here. And then ever so gently, when you're ready, walking the hands forward and coming to fold over top of the left leg. Once again, taking about 8 rounds of breath here. Finding space with the inhales and softening into it with the exhales. And gently press your way back upright. And choosing to stay here on the fingertips or maybe bending the right knee. Let's reach round and hook onto the top of that foot. Maybe pulling it in close. If you've got a yoga strap or any sort of band, this can really help you as well. But again, just not forcing anything. Really listening to the body. The mind often wants to contort into all sorts of weird and impressive shapes, but if that's not what the body wants, it's not going to be of any benefit to us. Releasing that foot if you had it. And pressing our way back into a high plank. Last vinyasa, if you choose to take it, or pressing straight back for downward facing dog. Beautiful. Let's take the knees down onto the ground. Cross the feet and come to sit back on your seat. Beautiful. Staying upright, let's walk the heels in nice and close. We're going to work just a little bit of core and a little bit of balance, making our way down to the ground. Let's reach around behind the knees, grabbing onto the thighs, and then gently come to weight the tailbone and weight your seat as you lift the knees off the ground. Good. So pulling the knees in nice and close. Feeling balance. Let's take 2 more rounds of breath. Good. And then touching the nose down to the knees if we can. And gently release the feet out. Let's extend them nice and long. Bring the hands in front of you. Let's engage that lower belly. And then very slowly, with as much control as we've got, we're going to lower our way onto our backs. So taking your time. And then coming to a lying position. Let's keep the knees bent. Beautiful. And we're going to take Waterfall Pose. So you have the option here to make your way over to a wall if you like, or prop yourself up with a pillow or a block, or you're welcome to just stay here. Okay, but we're going to take the legs up and above the head, just in a straight line. Allow the upper body to be nice and heavy. You're just going to settle in here for 8 breaths. This is a beautiful pose for at night or any time that you just need a little bit of relaxation. Send some blood back to the head, back to the heart. And then gently bend the knees. Pull the knees in nice and close by reaching around and grabbing onto the shins. Let's touch that forehead or nose to the knees again. Give yourself a nice big hug. And then relaxing the upper body back down to the mat. Keep the knees bent. Let's make a T with the arms, stretching them to the sides of the room. And on an inhale, we're going to gently lower the knees over to the right, gazing back over the left shoulder, finding a twist, keeping that left shoulder blade firmly on the ground. And then using that core strength, let's draw the knees back through center and drop them over to the left. Beautiful. Come back through center. Go ahead and give yourself a nice little hug. Maybe rock and roll from side to side. And then option to extend the legs long, coming into Shavasana, our corpse pose. Or perhaps making your way back to a cross-legged seat to close down your practice with me. This is the beauty of live classes, is that you're welcome to take whatever you need and stay in anything as long as you like. But no matter where you are, if you're seated or lying, let's shut down the eyes for a few moments. And let's just notice how that practice feels in our bodies. Noticing anything that that movement might have given us. And breathing in and out through the nose. Notice the fall and rise of the belly, the expansion and contraction. Staying present. Just knowing that whatever is about to come today, all those to-do lists and people and things that need our attention, they can wait. Taking 5 really indulgent breaths here for you. And bring a gentle smile to your lips. Enhance the heart center. And we'll take a gentle bow to seal our practice. Knowing that we can take this calmness with us throughout our day. Thank you for joining me this morning. Your practice is now complete. And namaste.